thanks for joining. My name is Karen Steinert. I lead our Total Rewards and People Operations teams here at GE. I'd like to spend the first few minutes providing you with an update to how we are approaching our pension and retirement savings plans in conjunction with our plan to create 3 independent companies. Then I'll get to your questions at the end. I wanted to thank you in advance for submitting them ahead of time. So let's jump in. Last week, we shared an update about what's happening with our savings and retirement plans. As each business prepares to spin off from GE, we are allocating the company's savings and retirement plans across each of the 3 planned businesses, subject to relevant approvals. We will map GE's savings and retirement plans for all participants, current, former, and retirees, amongst the new planned businesses, all with the same goal of making it as seamless as possible for our employees and their families. Let's take a quick look at what this means for the different savings and retirement plans. As of January 1st, 2023, each of the 3 businesses will sponsor and manage a plan that will be a continuation of the current GE pension plan. Generally speaking, each former employee's or retiree's pension benefit will be mapped to the business they retired or left from GE based on GE's records. If you are a former GE healthcare employee, your pension benefit will be mapped to the pension plan, which will be managed by GE Healthcare. If you are a former GE aviation employee, your pension benefit will be mapped to the pension plan, which will be managed by GE Aerospace. If you are a former GE Power or renewable energy employee, your pension benefit will be mapped to the pension plan, which will be managed on behalf of GE Vernova, our portfolio of energy businesses. If you are a former corporate employee, or if the business you retired or left GE from is no longer part of GE, then your pension benefit will be mapped to one of the 3 plans, and you will hear more about your personal benefit mapping in November. Just as a reminder, all participants keep the vested pension benefit that they've accrued. Let's take a look at the GE Retirement Savings Plan. The GE Retirement Savings Plan will be divided into 2 separate plans as GE Healthcare becomes a standalone company in the first week of January 2023. For former employees, this means that your accounts will be mapped to the business you retired or left GE from based on GE's records. For example, former GE Healthcare employees will be mapped to a plan managed by GE Healthcare as a continuation of the RSP. Former GE Aviation, GE Power, or renewable energy employees will continue in the current GE Retirement Savings Plan until the second spin. Former GE corporate employees, or if the business that you've retired or left from GE is no longer part of GE, then your retirement savings plan account will be mapped to one of the plans. Another reminder here that participants will keep any vested benefit that they have accrued. Many of the questions that we receive from our former employees and retirees focused on what they can expect to receive in November. So let's take a minute to touch on that. There are 3 key points that you need to know. If you participate in a GE pension benefit, you will receive a home mailer that includes a cover letter and applicable plan notices, including a summary of material modification, or SMM. Please read the documents that you receive in the mail. They include important information on a number of items, including your pension benefit assignment. Once you've had a chance to read the documents, no further action is required on your part. Your pension benefit will automatically move to the new plan business starting on January 1st, 2023. Finally, if you participate in other savings and retirement plans, including the RSP, for example, you will receive similar plan notices in the mail as well. We know that this is a lot of news coming your way and that these benefits have been on your mind for a while. So I'll wrap up with a few key points for you to remember. First, any vested benefit that you've accrued, you keep. Second, more detailed information is coming your way in mid-November, including plan notices that confirm your pension benefit assignment. And third, no action is required from you. With that, I'm finished with my prepared remarks, so I will invite Megan Newhouse from our communications team to join me and get to your questions.
Hey, Karen, thanks. As you can imagine, we received a number of questions, so we tried to bucket them, and we're going to hit a few of them more than once just to make sure that the key points get through. So the first question, can a participant choose which business their pension benefit is assigned to?
Yeah, the answer to the question is no. And I know a lot of folks have been waiting a very long time to hear more about their pension benefit assignment. And so, this work over the past 10 months, we had gathered a cross-functional team across HR and accounting and treasury and finance and legal, really to take a very thoughtful approach in the design of the allocation of the company's pension plans amongst the 3 plan companies. So we're trying to make this as smooth as possible. There's a lot of thought that went into it. So at the end of the day, sorry to say you do not get to choose.
So another question, trying to peel back that thought process a little bit, was how did you determine where retirement benefits were assigned?
In most cases, the way in which we thought about the assignment was the business that you work in. I mean, it's really based on that, or the business that you did work in based on GE's records. I mean, the other element of this is if you're in a business that isn't at GE anymore, and I know we definitely have some folks that are, your assignment is based on one of the 3 businesses, and it's really about making sure that we're allocating liabilities and assets across all 3 businesses to ensure they're secure and ensure funding statuses for the future.
That's helpful. And that applies to former corporate employees as well, right, Karen?
It does. It does apply to former corporate employees. So corporate employees and those who left a business that is no longer part of GE, we're mapping the benefit to ensure that we're balancing the funding status of the 3 plans. And I would also add that other plans, so your pension plan, if you participate in the supplementary pension plan or the executive retirement benefit or any deferred salary or bonus plans, that will go to the same place as well. We're trying to keep all of the benefits that you have assigned to one company.
Got it. We received a few questions asking whether or not the GE pension plan was safe or was guaranteed. Can you speak to that at all?
I can, and maybe before I dive into the details, I want to reiterate that, one of the reasons why we're talking about setting up these 3 companies is that we think that they're going to be better on their own. We view them as, clearly as a portfolio, we're successful, but independently, we view them to be even more successful. We also have taken a lot of time and attention into ensuring that these companies are all investment grade. And so that's not just something we say, something that's written on a piece of paper. It really means that they're set up for ensuring the security of your benefits. When it comes to vested benefits in the GE pension plan, I mean, these benefits are insured by the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. So that is something that is current today in GE's pension plan, and it'll go into each of the separate plans because each of the separate plans is a continuation of the current GE pension plan.
That's helpful. And this next question, it's very similar, Karen, but I kind of want to read it to make sure we're clear on it. So if one of the spinoffs declare bankruptcy in a few years, what happens to my benefit in the GE pension plan?
Yeah, it does mean a lot to say that these benefits are secured by the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. So when they are insured, even in the very, very, very unlikely scenario that one of these companies went bankrupt, your benefit remains secured.
Got it. Okay. A couple questions came in about how this change would affect monthly payments. Is there any change to that process as a result of this?
No, there isn't any change to the monthly benefit amount. I mean, really think about this as, your current plan in the GE pension plan. The 3 plans that we're setting up really are a continuation of what you currently have. So any of the elections that you made, any of the payments, that will continue to happen just like it does today.
Great. And this question was from an aviation retiree. And he's asking, does this announcement have any impact on my pension plan payment in terms of where it comes from?
So that is the one thing that will change. So no change to the benefit amount or how you receive it. But if you're a GE Aviation employee in this example, you'll be receiving payments from the GE Aerospace pension plan go forward, starting January 1st, I should say, 2023.
Okay. In the GE pension plan, will my pension benefit amount be reduced as a result of GE spinning into 3 companies?
No. So the answer is no, and your vested benefit that you have will continue according to the plan rules.
Are there any plans to offer lump sum buyouts or cash outs for the GE pension plan?
This is a good question, and we've actually done this in the past, as some of you may be aware, but right now we do not have any plans in place to offer a lump sum buyout.
Okay. This is a specific question, but from the announcement letter that folks received in the mail, this question is saying that in the announcement letter, what was sent out for former GE Power and GE Renewable Energy employees, it said that your pension benefit will be managed on behalf of GE Renova. What does on behalf mean?
Yeah, it's good for noticing. I'm impressed that people are noticing. That means they're reading it, which is really, really good. So the reason we specify on behalf of Vernova is because at the moment, like, we're recognizing Vernova internally, but it doesn't currently exist as its own company. So it's not appropriate to use the Vernova label at this time in that context. In the interim, that's why we're using this label on behalf of Vernova to describe GE's portfolio of energy businesses.
Understood. Okay. Shifting gears a little bit, there's a couple questions that came in here about retirement savings plan. So this one says, I'm a former GE healthcare employee. What will happen to my RSP account when it transfers to the GE healthcare plan?
Your RSP account balance and the vesting service that you have will move to the GE healthcare plan. And any outstanding loan balances that you might have will also transfer. You can also continue to make repayments. The investment options that will be in the GE healthcare plan will mirror those that are in our current GE RSP at the time of the transfer. And your investment elections can be changed going forward at any time in accordance with the plan rules. So additional information on this will be shared in the November timeframe.
That's great. And that was for GE Healthcare former employees. But what about for everybody else? Has anything happened to their RSP account?
Right now, what's happening is everybody else remains in the current GE RSP. So no changes for the other folks at this time.
Okay, great. We're going to go back to a pension question here. So this question says, I'm a former GE Plastics employee. When will I know my pension benefit assignment?
You're going to hear more about this in mid-November. So as I showed in that slide, you're going to get something that comes to you in the mail. It will have a note about your specific benefit assignment, and then it will have all of the legal documents that are there for the plans, including the SMM. So all of that should be coming in the mid-November timeframe.
Perfect. Okay, 2 more questions here. One is pretty broad because I'm going to kind of combine a few questions that came in, but we received some questions about other benefits outside of savings and retirement. So are there any other changes on the horizon that folks should know about?
There aren't. And in general, as you might imagine, the setting up of these 3 companies is a lot of work. And so all other benefit plans are really being mirrored for the time being. So if we think about retiree medical or your retiree reimbursement account, the GE Pharmacy Assistance Fund or life insurance, those are going to continue to be the same and available during 2023, just as they would have been.
Perfect. Okay. And then this last one, I think you hit on it a few times, but just for good measure, I'll read it. Is there any action I need to take as a result of the letter that was sent out last week?
No, and I know it's always hard for action-oriented GE employees and retirees. Old habits die hard. So there is no action for you to take other than please be on the lookout for what's coming to your mailboxes in November, because that's when you'll receive more information about your personal benefit assignment as well as all of the required legal notices.
That's great. Thank you, Karen. I think that really covers the questions that we received by theme. So I'll pass it back to you to close us out.
All right. Well, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join me and Megan. Thanks so much for facilitating those questions. I know folks have been patiently waiting this information, so hopefully we're taking another step towards being able to answer all your questions and make you feel at least more secure about how your pension benefit and your other retirement and savings plans are going to be handled in conjunction with the plan spins. I want to thank you for your past service at GE and once again, appreciate your time.